Good evening. I'm here today. I want to talk to you about the Second Amendment, um, discuss three different views on it, as well as some of my own thoughts. Timothy William Waters of the LA Times says we don't need the Second Amendment. We need a real debate about guns. He goes on to say that sensible people disagree about what the Second Amendment means. Perhaps it ensures an individual right for forbidding restrictions on constitutional carry. Perhaps it refers only to militias and therefore authorizes regulation. But everyone agrees that the Second Amendment was an amendment, a change to the Constitution. Well, I must say that I disagree with that. I don't really think that it was a change per se. I think it was more of an addition. Um, it makes gun. This is what he's saying. It makes gun control advocates deploy awkward, hypocritical arguments in order to fit them in the Constitution's limits. This leads to pointless debate about whether or not it is or isn't a militia, well regulated or otherwise. And when the only sensible thing to say is, whatever the founding fathers meant, things are different today. That I can agree with. But not only on the Second Amendment, there are other constitutional issues that can be discussed later, like how about infringing on my First Amendment rights as a Christian? Like I said, that we'll have to go another time there. He goes on to say, Waters, that is, goes on to say that 90 lives are lost daily from suicides, murders, and accidents. There's a lot of people killed on the road each day in vehicle accidents, and other things happen in people's work and in industry. And I know I've seen it because that's my job has been responding to these things for the last 35 years. So I'm not disagreeing with any of that. All that is true. However, we did not have a lot of these problems, suicides, murders, mass shootings, until the door was slammed on God. It is not that hard to research and find out when all this declination of our American society began. There's a lot of truth to a saying out there about guns killing people. And it goes like this: if guns kill people, do pencils misspell words? Vehicles drive drunk? No. It's the person behind it that does all these things. In Texas recently, a gunman entered a church and began killing the congregation. A good Samaritan was credited with stopping the killing spree. He was armed with an AR-15 assault type firearm. He stated, "I think my God, my Lord, protected me and gave me the skills to do what needed to be done," said Stephen Williford, who lived near First Baptist Church in Sutherland Springs, Texas, and rushed over when he heard the gunshot Sunday morning. He continued on, he says, "I just wish I could have gotten there faster." Kate Shellnutt of Christianity Today states, "As Christians, we should also be aware that the right to keep and bear arms is one of the inalienable rights which our Creator has endowed us. If there is any doubt about it, turn to Scripture for guidance in this matter, and rest assured the Bible supports your right to be armed." One of the lesser-known signatories of the Declaration of Independence, Dr. Benjamin Rush, summed it up rather succinctly when he said, "I have often only been called an aristocrat, a Democrat. I'm neither. I am a Christocrat." Dr. Rush was a physician, psychiatrist, member of the Continental Congress, Treasurer of the United States for more than 2 decades, and a Christocrat. Contrary to political correct thoughts, our founders based the cornerstones of our country on biblical principles. And in an eerily prescient moment, Rush stated, by removing the Bible from schools, we would be wasting so much time and money in punishing criminals and so little pains to prevent crime. Take the Bible out of our schools and there would be an explosion in crime. The Bible is strong. It stands to reason that if the Bible allows for self-defense, it must also allow for the private ownership of arms. As it turns out, it makes a provision exactly for that. Luke 11:21 through 22 tells us that when a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. But when a stronger than he shall come upon him and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor wherein he trusted and divideth the spoils. This piece of scripture not only demonstrates God's will that we be armed, but also sets the precedent for the castle doctrine or the palace doctrine. Furthermore, we can deduce that these arms are for the purpose of defense of self, of faith, and of the nation. Do I think that there should be limits on this? Yes. I mean, there are certain things that like the bump stocks and maybe even high capacity magazines, but there needs to be something happen. There are just too many rights people think that they're entitled to in this country, and I'm a gun owner, and I'm pro Second Amendment. I'm pro God, obviously, and I believe that we can find biblical answers to this if we just open the door to God. Thank you.